Hi, it's Brenda. So I thought I would do some little informational videos in between the more active, where I have to actually function videos.
Hi, welcome to my channel, My New Me, where you get to watch as I try to make sense out of the chaos that has become my life and my home. How lucky are you?
You'll see how that works out. Some of our other videos, we had quite a few questions about insurances and stuff. That has been my main focus for the past month. So I have yet to find some clouds or an alternative to watch while I'm talking. So I'm afraid we're kind of stuck with me gazing upon your lovely visages while you stare at my mug. I apologize for that. The past month I've been mainly focusing on insurances, and you folks did have a lot of questions about the insurances. First, let's go with the RV insurance. Most RV insurance policies are from $1,000 to $2,000 a year, and that, of course, is based on the value of the rig, whether you owe, whether you're paying a loan on it or not, the value of the contents, whether you have a, very expensive solar system hooked up to it. There are a lot of deciding factors, along with your own, your own personal driving history, your credit report. All of it gets figured into it. When I worked and I had a car, and my car insurance was $2,004 a year. Renter's insurance was $200 a year. So that's $2,200 a year. So I'm sort of equating the RV insurance to the car and renter's insurance, because it will be our vehicle and it will be our home. So it should equal out. And we are not going to have a top-of-the-line rig. We are going to have a very cheap rig. From the research I've done so far and what I've been able to figure out, Progressive seems to have the best full-time RV vehicle insurance and RV insurance. They seem to cover the most for the least amount of cash out of pocket for us. So we'll probably, I'm going to continue to research it, but we will probably end up going with Progressive, sounds like, unless I find something else. Now, I'm a member of many full-time RV Facebook groups, forums. I get newsletters through the email for many of the places. And I am still asking, still researching on vehicle insurance. So, but RV insurance can be expensive. It can be very expensive. But it's also based on a lot of different factors. It can also be fairly reasonable, too. And you are combining vehicle insurance with your home insurance. So it's kind of equaling out to what it was, back when I had a car. So, at the past month, outside of messing up the computer and having Josh fix the computer and me remessing it up, I was trying to learn a new editing software, and it didn't work. I'll just stick with the tried and true until I have no choice. But I was going to try and get all fancy, and either my brain is too old and worn out to learn these new things, or I'm going with the fact that my computer is just too old. Too old and worn out to learn them. So I'm done doing that. I'm going to stick with what I've been using for the past 2 years because it's been working. I'm going to stop watching videos of, hey, try this, it's wonderful. And then I try it. I'm going to stop doing that too. So anyway, for the past month, I've been focusing on that, but I've also mainly been focusing on my health insurance. The past couple of years, I've been on Medicaid for my health insurance, and I learned that as of September, I will no longer be covered under Medicaid. I apparently made too much money last year to qualify for Medicaid, That plus with the boy and I now in the same household, his income gets counted towards me. And I've had a couple of meetings with them, a few phone calls, and it's just, as of September, I will no longer be qualified under Medicaid. So I have been searching. I've been searching for an alternative health insurance. Now, once we hit the road, the boy quits his job, he will qualify for COBRA for his current insurance. So I'm not too worried about him because we can go that route with him for a while. For me, it's a different story. Our plan had been to have Florida be our state of domicile, which means that we're a resident of Florida. And Florida has a couple of companies that have nationwide coverage. It's like they're designed almost for full-time RV people. I mean, the last report I read somewhere, there's 1 million people in the United States alone that live full-time in an RV. You know, their companies are catering more and more to that. So our plan had been to become Florida residents. I guess it's pretty quick and easy to use them as your state of residence to apply for it and be accepted, and use these insurance, sign up with one of these insurance companies. They are, from everything I've read, seen, and heard, they're very reasonable price-wise. Very good coverage, nationwide coverage. And I think that would work, that would have worked well. However, Florida is now in the midst of changing their laws as far as what you have to do to become a resident, the requirements, the wait time, all of that. And until these laws are fully written and, put into effect, they are putting a hold on all applications to become a resident. They're putting a hold on all out-of-state driver's license transfers and registrations with no, right now they're on hold indefinitely. So we can't really wait indefinitely to see if we can become a resident of Florida to use these health insurance companies. So we are back to the drawing board, I guess. So I have been researching health insurance companies that have the coverage that we need, reasonable premiums and co-pays and everything, and seeing what we can come up with. This would have happened whether we chose to live RV or not. That has nothing to do with the RV life, but it is something that needs to be done as soon as possible. I've found a few that I've contacted. 2 of the companies have requested my medical records, so I did that. And right now I'm just waiting to hear back. But this, like I said, this would have happened whether we RV'd or not, and this need to be a priority whether we RV'd or not. So I have I've spoken to social services. I've had a couple appointments, multiple phone calls. It is what it is. I actually made money last year. I actually needed rent and groceries and co-pays last year. So, but apparently, well below poverty level is too much money. Well, plus the fact that the boy's income, it's household income, I guess. The boy's income is counted into it. And now it's just, I guess it's a matter of whether or not they will accept me with my medical history. And even when they do accept me, how much their rates will increase. Because I'm not a young... there are cheap, affordable health insurances out there. If you're a 24-year-old perfect health, never do anything dangerous type of person. If you live in a... What? You can come up here. If you live in a bubble, you're young and healthy, you can afford everything. But That's the big concern, is whether they will accept me with my history and how much more they will increase the premium because of my history. So I'm waiting to see and calling, making periodic calls like, hey, what's going on? You know, we're getting close. And waiting to see what will happen. A lot of that up in the air, but a lot of it needs to be done right away. But that's been the focus. That and getting this place set up to make it comfortable, and researching, and not screwing up the computer all the time. I've yet to find Chatty Clouds or an alternative, so I'll figure something out. Or maybe I have found an alternative. We'll see how this goes over. You guys want to watch me write my journal and using shorthand while I talk? This may be a bit boring. We'll see if you guys can read what I'm saying. I know there are some of you out there who can read shorthand, so we'll see. So that's what's going on with the insurances. As far as handling my health while we're on the road, that may change according to what insurance I get and whether or not my current doctors are part of their plan. If they are part of their plan, I am down to, with two of my doctors, I'm down to being seen once every 6 months. The other doctor, it's once a year, unless there are any problems or issues or concerns that crop up. A lot of this can be done. I mean, I do my own monitoring, which is handled over patient portal. Prescription refills, any concerns are generally handled over patient portal. In fact, with my last doctor's appointment, because she had to keep rescheduling and then I rescheduled, we ended up just doing it as a video call over the computer. If one of them feels like I need to be seen by an actual human being, well, there are doctors and labs everywhere. And like my one doctor said, the medical community is actually a pretty small community. It'd be easy for him to find a doctor, a specialist that I needed wherever I was to refer me to. So that's always an option. There are doctors and labs everywhere in the country, especially where we are going to be initially. You know, we are going to be work camping in tourist spots where there will be, there are high traffic areas with medical facilities nearby. So it's not, we aren't going to be out on the top of a mountain and unable to get anywhere. So I think initially we'll be okay. I've spoken to two of my doctors about this lifestyle, and they were not against it. One was all for it. One was just, said use your head. I know my symptoms. That's one thing that they both said. I know my symptoms. I've known that something was going on well before they knew it or before it showed on any of their testing. So just to pay attention and, do the same thing wherever I'm at that I do here. But like I said, most of it is done online anyway. So, and I will be taking a copy of my medical records with me so that wherever we go, we aren't going to have to rely on them accessing my records or getting copies of it from anywhere. I will have a physical copy of it with me to give to people if needed. One plus that really made us become very serious about starting and trying this lifestyle is that my last procedure went amazingly well. It was one of those, like my doctor said, one of those by the book procedures that he almost wished he had recorded it just to use as a training tool. But it went very well. It was very successful. My recuperation time was a matter of days rather than weeks. And I can really feel a difference with it. So that's a plus. That's a big plus. But if it doesn't work out, then we'll adjust accordingly, just like we have with everything else that hasn't ever worked out. That's one of the joys of this lifestyle. If we find ourselves in a place that does not feel like it's going to be best for me and for my health, we can always move. We can always, have the boy get a job somewhere else and move to somewhere that has more medical facilities or bigger medical facilities or whatever we need. And we're going into it with that mindset that we are not going to be on a set schedule. We are not going to be stuck in a place
if we have to leave. But we are going into all of this with the mindset that we just may have to change. We may have to adjust to many, many things. And our plans may not work out. And we may have to do some last minute plans. I'm already planning on having plans that have backup plans and backup plans that have backup plans and etc. and etc. But at least we can try. At least we can give it our best shot, give it an effort, and try. And I have many, many regrets in life. And every single one of those regrets, except for one, I carry in my heart because I didn't try. Through fear or uncertainty or self-doubt, or I listened to others telling me I would never make it. I did not try. And so I carry all these regrets around with me. The one that does not fit into that category is my biggest regret in life. And that is that I could not be a stay-at-home mom for my son. I would have loved to do that and not pay strangers to raise him when he's younger. I've said this many times before in my videos, but I strongly believe that the only failure is the failure to try. And I have failed in that area many times in the past. And I think it's time to stop failing in it. I've spent a lot of time this past month thinking about things and why so much has been going wrong with me in my life, with us in our life. I mean, there's a lot more that I just don't share with you guys either. It just seems to be one thing after the other after the other. And I kind of think it's because I haven't been trying for the dreams. I haven't been trying for the hopes. I've been accepting what's been handed to me instead of trying for better. I've been letting myself be shoved down one path instead of pushing back and saying, no, this is the path I want. This is the path I want to try. And if it doesn't work, well, then I'll try a different path, but a path of my choosing, and not where circumstances push me. I guess, I don't know, now I'm getting all deep and philosophical. Suffice it to say, the only failure is the failure to try. And that's all we can do is try. And if that doesn't work out, we'll adjust and try something new and just keep trying. So, and that's about it. I think I'm running out of writing in my journal. I'll be curious to see if anyone could actually read any of my shorthand. A bit sloppier than normal because I'm trying to write around the camera. But, I don't know. It's not clouds, but maybe it's close enough. Thank you for always sticking with us and for watching and listening. Take care and toodles.